Sydney is a modern, sophisticated, culturally diverse, grand city with incredible architecture, with beautiful harbors on the ocean. You can't tell somebody about that and have them understand it until they've seen it with their own eyes. My expectations were high and have been exceeded. WorldPride is the International Association of Pride Organizers. It provides an opportunity for coordination and learning and companionship, really, across the Pride movement globally. Part of the presentation that Sydney WorldPride gave to us was a focus on the incredible culture of Australia and Sydney in particular. They brought representatives from First Nations, which is very important. There's growing awareness globally of the importance of Indigenous peoples and First Nations. They brought representatives and told those stories and promised that that would be an integral part of planning and producing the event. I think that spoke very well of Sydney and of the organizers to our membership.
It's the first time a WorldPride has been held in the Southern Hemisphere. And so it gives us an opportunity to see more people from this part of the world who might not have had an opportunity to travel elsewhere.
The WorldPride Human Rights Conference is one of 4 key activities that must be delivered under license from WorldPride and a WorldPride Festival. So it actually is one of the most important aspects of the WorldPride licensed WorldPride event. Within the Human Rights Conference, where we had over 1,500 delegates, we had a special caucus to talk about furthering the agenda across the Asia-Pacific region, where we had about 85 people there, probably representing in excess of 20 countries, and it's the first time that has happened in a meaningful way anywhere in the Asia-Pacific region.
Being in the Asia-Pacific, where it's never been before, it opens us to a new audience. It's accessible to people who haven't necessarily been able to participate in our Human Rights Conference before. So the opportunity for new learning and for new dialogue that are presented to us just by being in this part of the world are immeasurable and of incredible value to us.
I think there were a couple of factors that set us apart from the other cities that we're hosting. One was very much about the importance of Sydney as a hub to the region that was safe and accessible for people to visit. It's also a very strong culture and history and wealth and beauty around our Indigenous population.
The convention center here in Sydney is a really great location with vistas, with the water nearby, the restaurants, the tram comes right here, you have a hotel right on the site. So if you have any downtime, you can get out and really explore and see a lot and not go that far to see it.
So the legacy that we had always focused on was really about elevating the role of Australia more generally in supporting and advocating for LGBTQI+ rights around the region. I think we've started to see a real focus on remembering our history, being able to convince the local state government to surrender the police station where they held people in 1978 to actually become our museum was a bit of an achievement. And I think more generally, the key thing that I wanted to do was actually to start looking for funding for Australia to put our money where our mouth was as a leader for LGBTQI rights in the region. And we've already seen some $3.5–4 million announced last week specifically for furthering the rights of LGBTQI+ people across Asia Pacific. So I think I've attended probably 4 WorldPrides, and over the years I've met different people in many different countries. What they have said to me in the last couple of days was that they didn't actually think they had seen anything quite like this before. We took 20,000 people to Bondi Beach, and they looked out on the beach, they looked out in water with the sun shining. They have never seen anything like that. We took 50,000 people across the harbour bridge, such an iconic structure. You go to other cities and you see WorldPride, they could be in any street, but there's no mistaking it when you see 50,000 people walking across Sydney Harbour Bridge. It's something to be very proud of. You know, we have things here in Sydney to offer that I actually just think is really difficult to match in any other city in the world.